Hi, welcome to lessonswithtroy.com. I'm Troy Brenningmeyer. Well, this week's lesson is simply called Chords for the Dobro. What it is just a big comprehensive list of chords in open G tuning using what's called a straight bar. That means we're not using any slants. We're not slanting our bar to get any of these crazy chords. We're just using a straight bar, and we're using open strings to really give us some great sounding, lush chords for the dobro. So we're getting all kinds of crazy chords in this lesson. We're getting not only major chords, but we're getting minor chords, we're getting minor seventh chords, we're getting major seventh chords, dominant seventh chords. We're getting extensions to just your normal major chord, like say a suspended chord or add 6 chord, add 9 chord, add 11. Crazy chords like add sharp 11 chords, diminished chords, all kinds of crazy chords without using slants. We're just using a straight bar, a few open strings, and understanding how they work in relation to whatever chord you're playing. Now also, I'm showing you how to take the same shape that you're playing, the same chord, but to think about it differently. Think about if the bass player is playing a different note, it would change the name of your chord and also the function of your chord. So we got a lot to learn here. This covers 3 pages of tablature, and in the end, you'll end up learning about 119 chords for the dobro or resonator guitar in open G tuning. So we got a lot to learn. Let's go ahead and get started here with chords for the dobro. Okay, so before we get going here, I just want to kind of explain how I'm going to approach this lesson. What we're going to do is we're going to start in open position here, and we're just going to slowly work our way up to the 12th fret, showing you different types of chords on each fret, with your bar, just a straight bar and all 6 strings, and then as you pull your bar back, what kind of chords each one of these open strings would make. Well, let's start here with all kinds of G chords, our favorite chord, right? So obviously the first chord here is just strummed open G chord, GBD, GBD. We all know that one, right? And what you can do here is if you just played your 6th string, 4th string, and 3rd string, that gives you what's called a G5 chord. It's called a G5 because you just have your root and your 5th of your chord. You have G's and D's. G, D, G. So I'm 6, 4, and 3rd string there. It's also called a power chord if you play guitar. Right? I'm just on my 6th string, 4th string, and 3rd string. Okay? And then for the G add 9 chord, and they're in measure 3 of your tab, what you're doing is you're adding an A note to your G chord. It's a real nice sound, G add 9. And what I do here is I just have my bar here on my 3rd string, 2nd fret, just tilted up, so I'm just getting that one note. And then I'm just playing my 6th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st string in an arpeggio type way. And what I'm doing with my right hand there is I'm using my thumb on my 6th string and 4th string, right? Thumb, thumb, and then doing index, middle finger, middle finger. So where you see some of these chords like that where you're skipping certain strings, that's because you're doing it in more of an arpeggio style. Instead of just strumming it straight with your thumb, you're picking the individual notes of it. Just like that. Okay, moving on to some other G chords. We have a G major 7th chord here. If we had an F sharp, because F sharp is the major 7th of our G major scale. And I'm here on my 4th string, 4th fret, playing that note, and then I'm going to play my 6th string open, going to my 4th string there with 4th string, 4th fret, playing my 3rd string open, and my 1st string open. And granted, you can mix and match other strings, especially with G, as long as it fits within that chord. The arpeggios that I'm showing you there, the chord shapes, that's just one way of playing it. So once again, 6th string, 4th string on your 4th fret there, open 3rd string, open 1st for a G major 7 chord. You can also get a G major 7 here on your 1st string, 4th fret, because that's the note F sharp as well. And just basically play any of your open G strings there, or open strings in the key of G and open G tuning. And that'll go with that nice F sharp G major 7th sound. Now what I have written there is 6th string, open, third string open, second string open, then fourth fret, first string. Okay, then you can get a G7 chord by taking that F sharp and flatting it one fret to an F natural. Just adding an F natural to a G major triad makes it into what's called a G dominant 7th chord or a G7. The difference between that and a major 7th is the naturally occurring major 7th of the scale. In a dominant 7th, you flat that 7th 1/2 step there to your 3rd fret 4th string. Now what's written down there is I'm starting on my 3rd fret 4th string, playing open 3rd string, open 2nd string, open 1st. Has a real nice G7 sound. But you could also play any of the other open strings there, as long as you're adding that F natural. Same thing if you use your 3rd fret 1st string to get that F natural up on your 1st string. That'll also give you a G7 chord. Just remember, just adding any F naturals to a G major triad gives you a G7 chord. Okay, the next chord there is a G sus4 chord. Now this one we're going to avoid playing B notes. So don't play your 5th string open, right? You're going to be here on your 2nd string 1st fret to get the note C. So we're basically adding a C note to a G major triad. But we're avoiding the major 3rd, right? Because that suspended sound, it's suspended because it wants to resolve back to that major 3rd. So what I like to do with this one is, bar it here, just bar tilted up on 1st fret 2nd string. I'm going to play my open 6th string, open 4th string, open 3rd, 1st fret on my 2nd string, and open 1st. So 6, 4, 3, 2, 1st string. And then what that wants to do is that wants to resolve back to a G chord. But sus4 chords are great for a nice folky sound. Okay, the next chord is a G add sharp 11 chord. So what we're doing is we're just taking a normal G chord and we're adding what's called the sharp 11. It's also, the 11th is the same as the 4th. So the 4th, just like this was C, to make it a sharp 11 or a sharp 4, you're going to make it C sharp. So I like to come up here on my 6th fret, 3rd string. That's a really interesting sounding chord. And I like to play that. I'm playing my 6th string open, 4th string open, 6th fret on my 3rd string, open 2nd string, open 1st. And that's called a G add sharp 11. Now it's called an add sharp 11 as opposed to just a G sharp 11 because we're just adding it to the triad, right? We haven't extended out that triad to include the 7th. So it's still, a lot of these chords are just real folky chords. Anytime you have add sharp 11, add 9 or whatever, that gives it more of a folky kind of sound. But when you have 7th chords like major 7th, minor 7ths, all that has much more of a jazzier sound. However, that sounds pretty jazzy to me, I guess. Okay, so there's our G chords. We got G open.